Before I get too far in the program, I want to recognize the APTA Executive Committee, the Board of Directors, and past APTA chairs. So if you're in that group, please stand up so we can give you a round of applause. Thank you for all your work and all your service. Many of the leaders in this room, I was honored to chair the APTA strategic planning effort about a year ago or so. We got it approved by the full board of directors. This plan really sharpens our focus, guides our operation for the next 5 years. This is the cover of that document. I think the marketing folks did just a great job in putting this together. 5 significant challenges that we put forth, and we were calling these mega trends, sort of the environment that we believe that we will be working in for the next 5 to 10 years. And just very quickly, and you won't see them on this is just the cover of the strategic plan itself, but safety and security was the first one. Resource advocacy or funding, we've been talking about that all week. Workforce development, demographic shifts, and technological innovation. And so those 5 things we identified in our strategic plan as mega trends that we will be facing over the next 5 years. And I have to say, we've been having conversations about funding for quite a while. We've been talking about safety and security. We had a great session yesterday that I sat in on positive train control. All of these things, these 5 mega trends that I just laid out are so significant. So you'll see these off and on for the next year or so as we work on these issues and look to address these issues. You can go to the APTA website. This document is on the APTA website, and you can read it, support its objectives, and help us address them. Let me talk just a little bit about funding, and I've been talking about this for the last 6 months or so. You've heard me talk about rebuilding our country's infrastructure, and this is one of the big reasons why we're here in Washington at the Legislative Conference to advocate for a long-term transportation bill. This is about building our own country. This is about nation building right here. This is about infrastructure investment and rebuilding our infrastructure in this country. And so I have called for this National Day of Advocacy, this stand up for transportation that you've heard about. And this is the logo that we've put together. And this April 9th day, this is actually the last conference that we will have before that April 9th day. Or is there another one? There may be another APTA conference coming. No. All right. So this is it. We are gearing up for this. The strategy is collective power as we bring attention to our infrastructure and talk to Congress. On this day, April the 9th, we're looking to conduct media events, press events in as many American cities as possible. And I'm happy to say that I believe we have about 140 events or so. That is a lot of events all over this country. It's time for us to work together, Republicans, Democrats, at the White House. It's time for us to work together, as you know, to make sure that we address this, what I call embarrassingly massive infrastructure deficit. The last time I looked, this infrastructure deficit was about $88–90 billion. That's just to maintain our current infrastructure. So it's time to fund that state of good repair. It's time to do all of those things. As we move forward, and I always talk about the whole car analogy. It's almost like buying a car and not changing the oil for 10 years and expecting that car to continue to run. It's really ridiculous. I was at the board of directors meeting. I was talking a little bit about how ludicrous it is for us to have to beg for funding to maintain infrastructure. 10.8 billion trips last year, 10.8 billion trips. We're begging to maintain our infrastructure in this country. It's really a shame. And I was talking about this at the board of directors meeting, and I get kind of worked up. I get pretty passionate about this infrastructure thing. And I was talking at an event, and I was getting pretty passionate, and I told myself to slow down, or my taxes would be audited if I kept talking. If I kept talking bad about our great leaders. But this Stand Up for Transportation Day is very, very important. So if you have not signed up, please do. I think we have a board out front, and we will continue to do that. A couple of things, and I think I wanted to show, I was at the transit CEOs meeting, and I talked to the transit CEOs about signing up. And at that transit CEOs meeting in Phoenix, we had Mayor Stanton there. And yeah, that's Mayor Stanton actually signing to have Phoenix as a part of the Stand Up for Transportation Day. Everyone has a vital role in this. As I mentioned, 147 agencies and businesses from coast to coast have signed up. Look at that map right there. That's great. Now, if you're not on that map, who's not on the map? You're not going to raise your hand. We've got to fill up this map. 147 agencies and businesses with over 100 events so far. So now is your chance. Grab a pen, sign up. A few things that I would just mention in order to sign up for this. First is act now. The second is identify your partners. APTA has a resource toolkit on the website where you can look, you can figure out who your partners are. We want to recruit all types of groups, bicyclist groups, environmentalists, seniors, veterans, students, people with disabilities. We want to have in your areas, in your local areas, we want to engage everyone in this Stand Up for Transportation Day. The third piece is planning your event. A ribbon cutting, a rally, an employee roundtable, turning your buses into billboards, sharing stats. And the fourth big piece is looking to APTA for support. As I said, APTA has a resource toolkit on the website providing messages, resources. You can customize it to your area, talking points, suggested talking points, all of these kinds of things. Please do that. Let me end my comments with another sort of priority of mine. We talk about the funding. I was talking about this yesterday in another meeting. We talk a lot about the funding, but I like to talk about the career pathways and growing our own qualified workforce. I was talking the other day about if the money begins to flow, because I do think we're going to get a long-term transportation bill this year. I really believe that, because I don't think that infrastructure apathy can last forever. And I don't think dysfunction at the highest levels can last forever in terms of infrastructure. So I do believe we're going to get a long-term bill. But what I've talked about is if we get that long-term bill, and if money and manna falls from heaven tomorrow and we have a long-term transportation bill, will we have the qualified workforce to build and rebuild this infrastructure in this country? And I'm not sure. I'm not sure that we have the track maintainers, the signal folks, even the run cutters. I'm not sure that we have the qualified workforce in this country to maintain our infrastructure. And so this idea of building career pathways for the hardest to fill positions in this industry are very, very important, because we have to grow our own, and that includes in this career pathway community colleges, that includes trade schools. Building this type of career pathway where we can grow our own. So when the money does flow, we will have a great pool of folks that are already trained to do this work that is much needed in this country, rebuilding bridges and highways and legacy systems and all of those things. So get on board, let's get started, and I hope to have 200 events by April 9th or on April 9th, and I think we can do it.